I recently came across this video by Pinecone LP, wherein he asserts that wheat is a better currency than diamonds. Servers such as Hermitcraft use diamonds as currency, and diamonds behave no differently than other commodity-based currencies such as gold and silver, which have been used since ancient Mesopotamia. However, modern economies do not use commodity-backed securities for a variety of reasons. Commodities have intrinsic value. They're useful for things other than just currency. A discovery of excess commodity supply could trigger rapid inflation. The supply of a commodity is hard for the government to control, and when they're not being used for currency, commodities have to be stored somewhere. For all of these reasons, modern economies depend on paper fiat currency such as the US dollar. So for a Minecraft server implementing a hyper-realistic economy, what's the closest equivalent possible? Wheat-backed securities are dangerous due to the risk of hyperinflation. A player with a modicum of redstone knowledge could single-handedly crash the entire economy. The ideal currency should be infinitely farmable so the central bank can produce new money when needed. However, it should be so annoying to produce that only the central bank would bother doing it. It should have little intrinsic value, so its primary purpose is to be currency, and at minimum it should stack to 64 if not be more compressible. With the advent of the redstone-powered auto-crafter, the production of nearly every block and item in the game can be fully automated. This means that the ideal currency should require manual player intervention to farm so as to prevent inflation. I believe the ideal currency for vanilla Minecraft servers exists as Nether Star-backed securities issued as signed books. Nether Stars can be infinitely farmed, but it's annoying and slow. A shulker box can hold 1,728 items. At 90 Nether Stars per hour, it would take 19 hours to fill a shulker box. This slow but technically farmable nature makes the Nether Star perfect as the backing for a security. This security then should be issued with signed books. Signed books can only be copied twice. Third copies are disallowed by the game's mechanics. This means there's little fear of counterfeiting. The central bank then simply needs to peg an exchange rate between these two items. Personally, I like the shulker standard, where one shulker box full of Nether Stars equals one fiat dollar. This F note can be produced in denominations of 1, 10, and 100 for various business needs. Signed books only stack to 16, meaning a shulker box full can only hold 432. However, a shulker box full of 100 F banknotes represents over 74 million Nether Stars. Granted, it would take 94 real-life years to produce this currency. The greatest downside of this NSF system is its dependence on late-game items. The server will need to temporarily depend on a commodity, such as diamonds. Then the central bank needs to produce enough NSF currency for an initial buy-in period, wherein players cut over from diamonds to Nether Stars and the diamonds are subsequently destroyed. Once all players have been paid out their initial buy-in sums, the Central Reserve no longer needs to maintain 100% of the F-note's value in Nether Stars. The actual amount of money held by the reserve is called the fractional reserve ratio, and in the real world this is far less than 100%. This allows the government to create new F dollars without having to wait for the NS to be produced. As long as all players don't simultaneously need to withdraw their Nether Stars, the government can safely inject new credit when needed. Of course, the real struggle with any currency is legitimizing it. The US dollar only holds value because it is the exclusive means by which business can be conducted with the US government. A Minecraft economy should be no different. To force players into adopting the NSF currency, server admins should levy a variety of taxes and fees that are only payable with the NSF system. Day to day, players are free to barter and trade with whatever currency they'd like, even diamonds. But when it comes to the government, they will still need Nether Stars. This is why the NSF system holds value. The government can then take these levied taxes and fees and reinvest them into the economy. For example, the server admins could contract one player to build a PvP arena for server-wide entertainment. They are paid for their labor in NSF currency, further legitimizing it, while simultaneously injecting it back into circulation. In short, real-world economies do not depend on commodity currencies for a variety of reasons. The Minecraft Diamond is no different. While it is sufficient for players seeking to simply have fun, I believe the most suitable currency in Minecraft is a Nether Star-backed security using second copy signed books as a banknote fiat.